this press conference with a thank you to John Fox.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
You're listening to Rochester, Indiana's #1 podcast, the Tan and J-Man Show, featuring Josh Munt and Tanner Lee.
You're listening to episode 85 of Rochester's #1 podcast, the Tan and J-Man Show, streaming on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Google Play. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we're sponsored, as always, by Fraunfelder Dental Clinic, a great family-owned dental clinic that offers laser whitening and dentistry along with braces, implants, and your typical teeth cleaning. Go see Dr. Bill Fraunfelder or Dr. DJ Fraunfelder today for all your dental needs. Like them on Facebook and check out their website, stayoftheartsmile.com. J-Man, it's July.
It is July. Happy Independence Day for all you Americans out there. As the great Ron Swanson said, history began on July 4th, 1776. Everything before that was a mistake.
Great intro. And have fun shooting off some fireworks. Just don't blow yourself up.
Yes, don't pull an Jason Pierre-Paul. I about said Osi Umenyiora. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Giants, yeah. But JPP, yes.
We have a lot to talk about. There's a certain basketball player that's taking his talents out west.
Yes, LeBron James, which will lead me into Birdie and Bogey.
Do it.
LeBron James signed with the Los Angeles Lakers of Los Angeles last night. When he plays his first game with the Lakers, there will be now 6 of the top 8 scorers in NBA history that will have played with the Lakers. Can you name the other 5, as well as the 2 players in the top 8 that did not? I'll give you one. One is Michael Jordan. So can you name the other one?
I'm grabbing my pen so I can jot down some notes.
You got that? You want me to say it again? So,
yeah, one more.
Once LeBron James plays his first game with the Lakers, it will now be 6 of the top 8 scorers in NBA history that will have played for the Lakers. Name the other 5 to have played, as well as the 2 that have not played with him, and one of them is Michael Jordan. So name the one that I have not given you.
All right. One of them is Jordan.
One of them is Jordan. One's another person in the top 8.
One's another person, and then the 5.
5.
Lakers.
Yes.
Okay. I know 3 of them. I got to kind of think about the other 2 as the show goes on. But good question. Thoughts on King James leaving Cleveland after spending a second stint out there for 4 years? Now going to L.A. where he signed the 4-year, $154 million deal, a little different than his 1-year deals he did originally with Cleveland.
Yeah, he did what he said he was going to do. He was going to bring a championship to Cleveland, and he did that. And Cavs fans really shouldn't be upset this time around. I understand why they were upset last time, especially with the whole media charade and all that. But he left quietly in the middle of the night. It was kind of, you could see the writing on the wall. It makes the Lakers obviously a hell of a lot better. I still think they need to add a guy like Kawhi Leonard.
I agree.
Because right now I think they're sitting there, they're still probably the maybe 3rd best team in the West.
I'd say they're 3rd. I'd say they're above Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And a little behind Houston still. And a little ways behind Golden State still. It's interesting how LeBron went about this. Back in 2010, he did the decision, which was a big mistake on ESPN. Then when he left Miami to return to Cleveland, he did it on I think it was the Unlisted or the Players Tribune or something via Sports Illustrated. Now this time it was just a press release. So he's taken more proper steps as he gets older. You got to think this is the last time he'll go through this, but by the time his contract ends, he'll be 37, 38. Right. I guess he could go through it one more time, but I don't know.
This contract runs through, 2022 or 3?
Yeah.
It'll be right around the time his son's graduating high school, and by that time I think they'll have where you can jump straight from high school again. So that'll be really interesting once his contract ends, what he'll do after that.
Maybe Cleveland will be so bad here in the next 4 or 5 years they can get Bronny Jr.
Yeah, Bronny Jr. Bronny Jr. is looking like his pop down there in AAU.
Tried to throw it down a dunk the other day, cost his team the game. But what do you think this means for the NBA? You got to think the NBA league officials, the front office, they're pretty happy about this because when the Lakers are good, ratings are better, and more money for the NBA.
Yeah, I think the NBA is loving it. Makes the East so much
good for LeBron's brand.
And it's huge for LeBron's brand. Yeah, Los Angeles, I mean, can't go wrong with that. But it makes the East so much more wide open. Brad Stevens is licking his chops right now, as well as those Sixers and Raptors, maybe even Indiana Pacers, who I think probably the top 4 in the East right now.
Pacers need to make some more moves. They picked up Doug McDermott, which isn't a bad player. Lance Stevenson, LeBron's rivals, going out to L.A. on a 1-year deal to join him. Who else? Joe Young, they let walk. Richard Jefferson, they let walk. They're bringing back Thad Young and Bogdanovich.
Al Jefferson.
Al Jefferson. Did I say Richard? Sorry.
Richard Jefferson for the Pacers?
Al Jefferson. So, but it looks like they're trying to get Tyreek Evans, but he's visiting the Lakers, I believe. So, the Lakers also today got Rondo. And who else did they pick up besides Lance? Oh, JaVale McGee yesterday.
Oh, they did.
So they're just getting all these random guys. I bet LeBron's patience is going to run. I give him to the All-Star break before he's ready to explode between JaVale and Lance.
I've never been a huge LeBron fan and thought drama always followed him, but I will be interested to see this Lakers team because they have some characters on there with JaVale and Lance and Rondo. I mean, some volatile guys there.
Do you think, where's this rank the Lakers in just the power teams in sports? I mean, are they the most famous sports team in sports? Are they above the Yankees?
Arguably, they are. They have missed the playoffs each of the last 5 years, coming in to, I don't even know what 5 years ago was, 2012, 2013 season. They'd only missed 1 or 5 times total from 1943 to 2012. People love the Lakers. They're a lot like the Yankees of the NBA.
But
and
honestly,
up top.
I think if you're just a sports fan, you can probably name, and I could be wrong, I'm a Yankee fan, and I could be wrong about this, but you can probably name more famous Lakers right off the top of your head than you could Yankees. If you're just a casual fan that likes basketball and baseball both. I could be wrong, but that's a tough one because you can probably you can throw out a bunch. But
I mean, for the Lakers, you can throw out Kareem, Magic, Jerry West, those kind of guys, and of course the Yankees have Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, DiMaggio, Garrett.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's similar, though.
It's very similar. And, a lot of old-time Laker fans that have been Laker fans for years.
George Mikan.
They have to be pretty excited about potential renewed rivalry between Boston and L.A. We kind of saw it in the mid-2000s, 09, 10-ish, with Garnett, Pierce, and Allen against Kobe and Gasol and Odom and a few of those guys when they're battling for the finals. But this one could get pretty good, especially with Kyrie on the Celtics.
Yeah,
could be pretty interesting. But I agree. I still think the Lakers are the third best team in the West. They didn't get one of the big guys that a lot of people thought they'd get in Paul George.
Yeah. When I saw that news that Paul George was going back to Oklahoma City, I was thinking, man, Magic's gonna get shut out again. It's not gonna be too good for him. Yeah, it would have been really bad for him. But he obviously didn't. But I do think if they were to trade for Kawhi Leonard, which I think they'd have to trade Lonzo Ball, which might not be the worst thing for that franchise, I would probably slot them ahead of Houston because, Kawhi missed most of last year with injuries and I don't really know what was going on with him, but at his best, he's a top probably 5 player in the NBA. He's a two-way player. He's really good, so I'd put them ahead of Houston at that point. But
Yep. What was I going to say? I'm losing my train of thought. Where does this put the Cavs? What's next for the Cavs?
They have potential to be the worst team in the East.
And Kevin Love's stuck in a situation like he's in Minnesota again.
I can't imagine Love's still there by the beginning of the season.
They got to try to get rid of his contract, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're just going to do complete rebuild.
That poor guy wanted to be a Laker a few years ago.
I know it.
Now he's stuck in Cleveland.
Yeah, that's a rough place to be stuck in.
Man, they're the bottom of the league again.
Mm-hmm.
like I tweeted out last night, and you can follow me on Twitter at @the_T_Lee if you're not already. Like I tweeted out last night, the face of Cleveland sports, and this is my opinion, is a backup rookie quarterback, Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
I think some of the Indian players probably deserve that, but as we were talking before the show, Cleveland is a Browns town. Even when the Cavs were winning, even when they won a championship with LeBron, Cleveland is a Browns town, always has been, always will be.
It will.
That, I've always said this, it won't be to the height of what the Cubs parade was, but that would be the NFL's equivalent to what the Chicago Cubs World Series was, is if and when the Cleveland Browns win the Super Bowl. But hell, they need to make the playoffs first before they can even worry about that.
Yeah, I would say Baker's the face of Cleveland. It's not Tyrod Taylor.
No.
Not Juice Landry.
No.
Josh Gordon.
No. Man, I'm getting pumped up for Hard Knocks.
Oh, yeah. It's the Browns this year. That will be fun.
Yeah, I think they'll be improved. I really do.
I do too.
But yeah, Cleveland, man, it's maybe not Cleveland rocks.
Please start showing up to Indians games. They are a good baseball team with good players.
It's like that Sing Off the Water Boy. Oh no, we suck again. I think that was going around quite a bit for Cavs fans last night. But any other moves you've seen that caught your attention around NBA free agency?
I haven't followed it too much.
Have the Bulls done anything?
Bulls haven't done anything.
I saw former Bull and MVP Derrick Rose signed a 1-year deal with the Timberwolves.
Zach LaVine or Levine, whatever his name is, he's a restricted free agent, so he can sign with someone, but then Bulls have an opportunity to match.
They'll match, won't they?
I don't know. He's a terrible defensive player, and he had a torn ACL, and he wasn't very efficient when he came back. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. Julius Randle was renounced by the Lakers, meaning he was a restricted free agent, but now he's an unrestricted free agent, so he won't be back. He's an okay power forward or so. So that'll be an interesting one where he'll end up. But other than that, I haven't really followed anything. I don't really even know who's free agent. I just think the biggest thing now is where Kawhi Leonard ends up.
Julius Randle, you just mentioned him, signed a 2-year, $18 million deal with the Pelicans.
With the Cans, huh?
So that tells me that Boogie Cousins is on the move. Watch for him to land in L.A.
He could, yeah.
They could have some characters.
Oh, dude.
Boogie, Lance,
They're going to be so much fun.
Rondo.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be must-watch TV out in L.A.
Brandon Ingram's really good, and he's kind of getting overlooked in this situation. Yeah, if DeMarcus ends up in LA, that probably takes them out of the Kawhi sweepstakes, and that leaves maybe like Boston to go trade for him. And if they trade for him, what happens with Gordon Hayward? So it'd be interesting.
I guess Anthony Davis really recruited Randall hard.
Well,
Kentucky
boys, yeah.
Yeah. The big winner out of Cleveland is their ownership, which what they did to their fans back in, I think it was March, made them sign 3-year contracts to keep their courtside seats, and they didn't even know if LeBron was going to stay there or not, so now they're locked in for the next year when they suck.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. This is really the only time we'll talk about the NBA until the season starts, which is fine by me. But we had to begin with this. This was just a huge story that broke last night, and actually the J-Man over here dropped a J-bomb on our friends group text message. He was the one that broke the news to us. So
yeah, I Woj-bombed the Woj-bomb.
That guy's amazing at what he does. I like Adam Scheffner. I think he does a great job, but Woj just takes to another level.
Yeah,
that
really
guy's
does.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
I'm pretty sure he knows where players are signing before the players and teams actually do it.
I wouldn't doubt that.
It sure does seem like that.
And that tweet was out for 2 minutes and had over 25,000 retweets.
Yeah, and it really came out of nowhere because originally I read that LeBron was going to make his decision known on Tuesday, and then all of a sudden I'm on Twitter and I'm like, holy crap.
Well, now, we've been getting the LeBron MJ comparisons, and I think those are going to slow down a little bit, but now they're going to crank up the LeBron Kobe comparisons big time,
really
especially because
be
he's on the Lakers now, which it might be LeBron's house right now, but Kobe's at the head of the table.
Yeah. Sorry. You think Kobe's the greatest Laker ever? They've obviously had some good ones. They had the logo. They have the all-time leading scorer in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Magic.
Dude, you're giving me some answers. I like it. But I already know some in my head. But, they've had great ones. Wilt was a great one. Elgin Baylor was good.
I unintentionally gave you some answers, but I'm sure you already knew those anyway.
But no, I think Kobe is. Kobe being Bryant is. I mean, he stayed there his whole career, went through some ups and downs, especially off the court. Number change, which you can retire both numbers for him. He can be a Hall of Famer in each of those numbers. That's how good he was. Like him or not, he was a heck of a scorer. And
he was a competitor, too.
Yeah.
Something I'm not
Ball
100%
hog,
sure LeBron's as much of a competitor
Kobe
as
was
Kobe
tough.
or Jordan.
Tough as nails.
LeBron just whines.
I mean, Shaq was a good Laker. He wasn't there
thinking
too long. I mean, he was there 7 years or so, but one MVP stint. But no, Lakers are a historic franchise, and it's just like we talked about, another legend going to play in LA. It's a Lakers town.
Yeah,
Rams are good. They don't care.
Dodgers
are
good. They don't care.
Angels have the best player in baseball. They don't
Angels
care.
are in Anaheim.
I know, well, Los Angeles Angels, but it's a Lakers town. Always has been, always will be. And the Clippers now, especially with DeAndre Jordan leaving, they're back to trash.
You know what would be great is if the Clippers trade for Kawhi and give a big old middle finger to the Lakers.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that at all, but
I kind of read that somewhere that they might make a play for him.
were you surprised 33-year-old Chris Paul got the deal he did?
I don't even know what it was.
4 years, like $130 million by the
He's
Rockets.
still really good, but
33 coming off
old,
a big hamstring injury.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
But no, it's been an eventful first few days of NBA free agency.
Seems like it all happens right at once.
does.
And nothing. It's kind of like NFL free agency.
LeBron has known for 3 weeks what he's going to do, if not longer. I mean, it was pretty well known. It came out last night that's been the Lakers and the Cavs all along, and so the Philly stuff and Miami, Houston, even Golden State was all rumored.
It's hard.
Is Golden State making a move to just keep
You
the
might as
core?
well just
keep rolling.
Keep the core. It's hard. It would be hard to turn down Southern California.
One deal that surprised me. Player's good. I mean, I advocated for this guy to be an underrated MVP candidate last year with Nikola Jokic. Hope I said Nikola Jokic. I think. Yeah, he got a max contract by the Nuggets.
He's good. He's only 22, 23.
He's only coming up on his 4th year in the league, second round pick, and they gave him. But the Nuggets needed to nail down that franchise player.
Yeah.
Because
he is the greatest passer I've ever seen of anyone over 6 foot.
Oh yeah, he's good.
I mean, Magic was 6'9", so I'm not counting him. But Jokic is 6'11", and he's averaging 6 assists a game. That's absurd.
Yeah, he's a good player. A franchise a lot like the Pacers don't get a ton of media attention, but they haven't won anything. I mean, they've never made a finals appearance. They've only, I think, been to the Western Conference Finals once, maybe twice. I know Melo took them there and lost 6 games to the Lakers. That's when Chris Birdman Anderson kind of made his national appearance.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. I just thought he's one of the few players in the West have a max contract. I mean, the West is loaded. East, not so much.
Yeah, there's not much going on in the East right now.
Watch out for the Bucks and the Greek Freak, who was announced today as the cover of NBA 2K19.
Are you going to get
the
that
Greek
game?
Freak. Yeah, I'll get it for Christmas. Always to get it for Christmas.
I'll beat you a bunch.
We'll talk about that later. We can do a whole different podcast on how I'm going to own you in video games this year. But all right, let's move on to your Chicago Cubbies. You got your Cubby Blue on.
I do.
Nice little sweep for them this weekend.
Yeah.
Interesting sweep. Not your ordinary 3-game series by any means.
They played the Minnesota Twins.
The Twinkies.
The Twinkies. And Cubs
Pretty
game.
swinging baseball.
Pretty swinging baseball, yes. Joe Mauer. That's never going to die, is it?
It was
Inside
in the paper.
joke.
It was to the public.
It was in the paper. Yeah, I really choked on that one. But yeah, the Twins scored 25 runs in a 3-game series, and they lost all 3. That's hard to do. The conditions at Wrigley over the weekend were a joke. I mean, when the wind's blowing out like that and it's warm like that at Wrigley plays smaller than any ballpark in baseball. It makes, Coors Field's huge, but the ball flies there, but it makes Coors Field look like freaking Oakland Coliseum. Ball's just flying out of there. It's about time Cubs started scoring some runs. They have 4 straight games where they've scored 10 or more runs, which is the first time they've done that since 1930. Everyone's hitting at the same time right now, and that hadn't happened all year. Top to bottom, they've been great. Albert Almora Jr. is leading the National League in batting average. Rizzo's heating up. Jason Hayward hit I think 340 in June. Javi Baez won National League Player of the Week, hitting over 450 with an OPS of 1,300. He's been great. Addison Russell's hitting really well. Ben Zobrist is hitting. Wilson Contreras is heating up. Top to bottom, they've been great. Ian Happ is the guy that might need to start looking at him as being the leadoff option again when he plays, because he has an on-base percentage of 370, and his walk rate is an absurd 16%, which is absurd. That's the second time I've used that today. It's an homage to our good buddy Andrew Eiler. But he's been great. He's playing absurdly well.
Stop.
The Cubs pitching staff, however, is not. The starting rotation really all year has not been good. Besides John Lester won National League Pitcher of the Month. He was 5-0. Opponents only hit 155 against him, only gave up 4 earned runs in 34 innings. He's been really, really good. He's really rebounded from a down year last year, and yesterday hit an absolute bomb of a 3-run homer.
I like the bat drop.
Yeah, he acted like he's been there before, which he has once. But
I was going to say, didn't he hit a homer for him once? I thought he did. For
a pitcher, his swing is really, really good. And he has absurd. That's the fourth time I need to stop doing that. He actually has pretty good opposite field power. His first career homer was to the opposite field, and he's been known to kind of hit doubles to the opposite field. You don't see him really pull the ball with authority much, but had a really good at bat. Got to a 3-2 count, took a really close pitch on 2-2, and then smoked one into the left center field bleachers off of Lance Lynn. And honestly, I don't think the wind had anything to do with it because it was a line shot. It was a big boost. Cubs are down 1-0 in the second, and then ended up scoring 8 runs in the second inning after Big John Lester hit his 3-run bomb. The bullpen is not pitching very well at the moment. It's kind of expected because they've been so overworked with starters not getting deep into games. Brandon Morrow's back from the DL, and it sounds like C.J. Edwards could be back later in the week, which they really need him because they're having to rely on some pretty terrible relievers to get key outs in games. Like yesterday, they were up 10-3 and 9-1 at one point. Next thing you know, it's 11-10 because Joe Madden left Dylan Maples in way too long.
Who is that?
Exactly. He gave up five runs in 2/3 of an inning. Got the first 2 guys out easy. Then he gave up a single, walked a guy, single, 2-run double, 2-run homer, and Joe wouldn't take him out, and then he finally did, and Brandon Morrow got a 4-out save. But it's nice. It's really nice to be home because Cubs have played the least amount of home games in baseball this year, and now it's warm at Wrigley. Ball's flying out of there. Offense is heating up. Chris Bryant's expected back from the DL on Tuesday or Wednesday. Not sure which date. And the Tigers come to town for 2 games. Kyle Hendricks.
You gonna go pop her jersey at that game?
Huh?
I like that story when you popped her jersey up at the Tigers game.
Yeah. So back in 2009, I was 17, and we were up in Detroit for something, and we got a suite. I think my dad was preaching somewhere, and we got a suite because the church got a suite. So we're sitting there. Cubs were winning the whole game. I was wearing my Ramos Ramirez jersey. He had a big hit, and I popped it in the 8th inning. Cubs were up a run, feeling really good, going to the 9th. Guy gets on with 2 outs, and Kevin Gregg gives up a 2-run walk-off bomb, and I got so much crap from Tiger fans. It was ridiculous. But 2 games set. Hopefully to get some revenge on the Tigers. They've played them a couple times since, obviously. But Kyle Hendricks, who's been really struggling, and I'm hoping it's his mechanics because he's been terrible. If he gives up one more homer, it will tie his career high for homers given up already, and it's July 1st. He just really needs to pitch better. He's becoming kind of predictable. He's a fastball change guy, and he spoke all spring training that he has this new curveball he's going to work in there, and he's barely thrown it, so he needs to be better. And then Jose Quintana goes Wednesday against Francisco Liriano, who the Cubs know very well from his days with the Pirates. So it'd be nice to get a few wins there. And then the Reds come to town, and Cubs need to get revenge on those, all of a sudden, pesky Redlegs. So hope to get a few wins this week. They need to keep it rolling because they're only a half game out. They're 5 games up on the Cardinals, which brings me to this. Today, John Mozeliak, the Cardinals president and general manager, called out former Cub Dexter Fowler on the radio, publicly called him out for saying, fans come up to me all the time and say, Dexter Fowler has low energy, he's doesn't play hard, and instead of, refuting it and saying, no, that's not true and all that, he kind of went on this whole rant about how he doesn't play hard and all this, which I think is complete bull crap. And he called out the player publicly while Dexter Fowler is on paternity leave because his wife is having a baby. Doesn't make any sense. That's just a trash franchise, and it just makes me so happy that people are finally seeing how terrible that franchise is and how terrible their fans are. Worst fans in all of sports. Honestly, arguably the worst run organization in all of sports from top to bottom. They're not winning. They're bitching about it, and it is making me so happy to see them be ripped by the public.
You had to go through years and years and years of them winning and the Cubs losing, which makes this so much sweeter.
The greatest thing that I love about the Cubs being good now is how much Cardinals fans hate it. It is so much fun.
Yep.
So much fun.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. It's a pretty good Cubs report. I was taking a lot of notes over here, but it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Were you taking note? Were you looking up the trivia question?
I was not. I wouldn't do that. I already got it wrote down. I was writing down Yankee stuff.
No.
Who had a pretty good weekend. Took 2 of 3 from the Red Sox. They got the AL East lead now and the best record in the American League. It was an interesting 3 games. They were all blowouts. The Yankees won 8-1 Friday night. Red Sox won 11-0 on Saturday. And the Yankees won last night on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball 11-1. And last night, the Yankees got the best of David Price. Yankee fans gave David a nice standing ovation when he exited the game because David pitched 3.1 innings, gave up 9 hits, 8 runs, and of those 8 runs, 5 home runs.
He's terrible in that ballpark.
Yes. Started off, gave one up to Aaron Judge, followed by Gleyber Torres, and then Aaron Hicks hit 3 home runs last night, becoming the third Yankee ever to hit 3 home runs in a single game against the Boston Red Sox. Can you name the other 2 players?
Against the Red Sox?
Against the Red Sox.
I saw this, but I forget. Roger Maris.
Nope.
Mickey Mantle.
Nope.
Babe Ruth.
Nope.
What year? Give me the time frame that these players played.
One was a Yankee within the last 5 years, and one, when he did this, was...
Mark Teixeira.
Yes, that is one he did on May 8th, 2010. The other one played a long time ago.
And it wasn't Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig.
There you go.
All right.
June 23rd, 1927. Told you it was a little while back.
I got a par.
So, the Yankees got the better of the Red Sox last night, which is nice because I have a $1 bet for every Red Sox-Yankees game with a family friend of mine. So, I'm up $1 right now.
Go Red Sox.
But, the Yankees are hosting the Braves. They're playing as we speak. Score was 0-0 last time I checked. It's the best record in the AL against the best record of the NL. And then the Yankees this weekend have a 3-game road trip up to Toronto. And the ALS team that last time I looked was in 3rd place of the division, but so far back behind the Yankees and Red Sox, it doesn't really matter. So,
did you say they played the Braves this week?
Yeah, they host them right now.
The Braves are a pretty good ball club. Have the best record in the National League.
I said that.
You said that. Sorry, I wasn't
best,
paying attention.
it's okay. Best record NL versus best record AL right now. So, it's some good old-fashioned...
Braves coming off a sweep of the Cardinals in St. Louis over the weekend.
An interleague little rivalry from the late 90s, early 2000s, but it hasn't been relevant in a long time. But maybe it will be going forward.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Got any other baseball notes? I guess I got one after I asked you that. But
say it. I don't have
our boy Timmy Tebow.
Yeah, the mediocre Tim Tebow made the Eastern League All-Star game, hitting a sultry, just great 256
just a
with
little
5 homers.
Above the average. He has been really red hot his last 10 games, but
All-Star games in the minors are kind of a joke because a lot of players go to them. But
I'm really starting to think, though, and I've been just saying this, but I'm starting to think he's going to play for the Mets this year.
You going to make your 5K or 5-mile run bet that he gets up to the bigs this year?
I'll think about it. Give me a week.
All right.
Because if not that, I'm going to make it around Purdue football related. So it's going to be one or the other. I'll make my decision up soon, but I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I just hope I get it right so I don't have to run the 5-mile little
I'm gonna witness you running the 5.
Oh, that would be some good social media for our social media channels. We're going to have to get 1 or 2 people to videotape it, but figure it out.
That'll take you 10 hours.
Probably.
It'd take me 10 hours.
Especially if I do the Purdue football one. Because by the time the season would be over, it's going to be in the winter.
The good thing is
wait till spring.
Well, you can still do it in the winter because it won't be as hot for you at least.
True.
If I were to do a 5-mile run, it'd take a couple days because I'd have a couple hospital stints and I'd walk a lot of it.
Yeah, fair enough. Any other baseball notes? You got anything?
I don't think I do.
It's July. All-Star game will be coming up soon.
Yeah.
What is Minnesota this year?
Washington.
Is it Washington?
Minnesota was 2014.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought it was this year.
Yeah,
Washington. Yeah, so Bryce Harper could make his final appearance if he makes
make the All-Star team.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see who's in the home run derby.
The All-Star rosters, I believe, are announced Sunday.
Really?
So this will be the J-Man's Book It prediction of the week.
Dano, hold it a minute. I want to book this one.
Mainly because I kind of forgot about the Book It until right now, like always, because it's getting harder to do those. The Cubs will have at least 2 players in the All-Star game. I think John Lester is probably a lock because he's been one of the best pitchers in the National League, and I think Javi Baez will be the other one. I think those will be the 2 that get in. Albert Almora Jr. has an outside shot. Rizzo and Bryant really don't have much of a shot. Rizzo's numbers aren't great, and Bryant's been hurt and hasn't really played very well. Maybe Brandon Morrow could be the other guy, but I think John Lester and Javi Baez will be the 2 of maybe more than 2 All-Star Game participants for the Chicago Cubs.
And the J-Man's Book It prediction of the week is sponsored, like it is every week, by Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Travis Watering. Here's a little short blurb from Travis himself.
Watering with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. I'm a multi-line agent specializing in life, home, renters, auto, business insurance, workers' compensation, and farm insurance. Please contact me at travis.watering@infb.com or 219-869-4561. And my business Twitter is @TTW_IFBI.
And J-Man, you got last week's J-Man's Book Prediction of the Week, which I haven't cut yet, right.
Get one more, and I think that's a win streak.
So you have it right. So, you said LeBron would opt out of his deal with Cleveland, and you even said he'd sign with L.A., so...
That's a double whammy.
You totally redeem yourself.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself.
That feels good. For the first time, it feels like 6 weeks.
Yeah, you've been, you probably had Gene Wilder playing in your sleep. You heard it so much.
Couldn't get that dead guy out of my brain.
Wow. Oh, man, threw me curveball there. Wasn't expecting that one. But, I don't have any more MLB notes. Don't have a whole lot left. Speak of, Tiger Woods had a really good showing at his tournament, the Quicken Loans over at National and by Washington, D.C., which will be heading to Detroit next year.
Sponsored by Flint City Water.
That's awful.
If you want explosive and fatal diarrhea, drink our water.
Oh my God. I think you should put in a submission to their city. Hey, I got a new slogan for you. But no, Tiger got, let's see here, was he in the 5th or tied for 5th? Tiger tied for 4th. Shot an 11 under for the tournament, 4 under yesterday. But it just didn't matter as Francesco Molinari, a guy who plays a lot in the European Tour, plays over here quite a bit, but just doesn't do very well.
Before.
He's one of the 2 Molinari brothers. He got his first ever win on American soil. Shot 21 under Blew the field away.
Francesco Molinari.
Beat the closest guy by 8 strokes. Shot 8 under yesterday. Tiger asked him what his secret was the night before. He said pasta. Pasta's a secret.
It's a secret for everything, man.
So there you go. If you want an excuse to eat more pasta, there you go.
Love myself some stuff.
My favorite golfer, Ricky Fowler, had a pretty good tournament. Finished 12th. Shot 3 under yesterday.
What's
so
the payday for finishing 12th?
That's a good question. I could probably look that up, but don't have it right in front of me. I'm sure it's not too bad. But, yeah. Yeah, Tiger definitely had the crowds out. He had them roaring Saturday as he finished his front 9, I believe. Or at least one point in the front 9. He had 4 pars in a row. Went out with the 32 on the front on Saturday. He shows glimpses, man. He shows glimpses that he's back, and then other times he fades back. I thought it was interesting. Barely any big-time players played in this tournament. And then over in Europe, they were playing at this year's Ryder Cup site. But the only American to go over there and play it was Justin Thomas, which I thought was really smart on his part. Get a look at the course before you play there in September because he's got to be a Ryder Cupper. But really, golf's kind of at a slow point here. You got the John Deere coming up here in a couple weeks. But really, it's the British Open coming up in about 3 weeks, which is the next headlines. And I just think it's so fitting that they're changing the schedule for the British Open to be the last major of the year. Because they always talk about, because when they announce the winner of the British Open, they always say, and the golfer of the year goes to, so that'll be fitting when it's the last of the major. It'll kind of just, that will tie in. So, but that'll be a fun one to watch.
12th gets $163,000.
Not a bad payday.
Not a bad day for finishing 12th.
Jeez. Man, but Rochester native Chris Smith made the cut this past week in the Web.com tour. I think he finished... this is off the top of my head without looking up. I think he finished 58th. But good to see Chris play well, make the cut. These guys on the Web.com go low. I think the winning score was 24 under for the week. These guys just shoot crazy low scores. It's so hard to compete. And I know from talking to Chris over the last few years a little bit, it's tougher for him to compete on the Web.com than it is in the events he gets in on the PGA because he's more familiar with the tracks on the PGA. And he doesn't have to go as low on like these Web.com tour guys. I mean, these guys are youngsters coming right out of college, and they're just not scared of anything. But Chris is trying to keep his game sharp. He's 47 years old. Once he gets 50, he can try to qualify for the senior tour and then, play with guys his own age. The senior U.S. Open was yesterday out in Colorado, and David Toms won. That's a second career major. I put major in quotations because senior majors have a different respect level than regular majors, but he won the regular PGA Tour a while back. This is why I brought it up, next year's Senior U.S. Open will be at Warren Golf Club up in South Bend, Indiana, where the University of Notre Dame plays. So, pretty interesting. Pretty close to home. That's I doubt we'll really have an event bigger than that this close to Rochester, at least for a long time. So, maybe I should try to volunteer, help out.
Maybe you should try to qualify. Just play golf every single day. And
problem is I'm not 50.
You just walk on, man. They won't know that. You could dye your hair gray.
I don't even walk around like I'm 50. I mean, I'm hobbling around.
Just have a physician look at your back.
No kidding. No kidding. The knees and geez. Before we do Birdie Bogey, Illinois basketball got a nice little pickup today.
Somebody whose name's slipping me. It's Adonis something. They really needed size, and they picked up a 7-footer from Kent State. It'll be a grad transfer, play, I believe it's just 1 year.
Started out at St. John's, I believe, before he went to Kent State.
I think he's only played for Kent State, though, so I wonder if he got kicked out or transferred, but averaged 11.7 points
Adonis De La Rosa.
Adonis De La Rosa, that would be a fun name to say. And almost 8 rebounds. They needed size because coming in next year, they'd have 2 freshmen that are over 6'9". That's their only players over 6'9", and one's Georgie Bichon-Chevili, who's really raw.
That's another fun name.
Yeah, and another one's Samba Kane. He's a 7-footer who's really, really skinny. So they needed somebody that could come in right away and play, and it's a good thing they got it. So that's really huge because they have some good guards, good young guards, and they needed another veteran presence, especially at the 5. So hopefully that means that'll add a couple wins to their end-of-season record.
I have a quick Purdue basketball note, but it's nothing to do with their active team. It's due with a former player, Juwan Johnson. You remember Juwan, All-American, went first round NBA, then fizzled out real quick. He's having a pretty good career over in Europe, and he just got a new contract. He led his team to the Euro Cup championship this year, coached by David Blatt. He used to coach the Cleveland Cavaliers till LeBron told him to get lost. But he secured a deal a little over $2 million through 2020, making him the highest paid import outside the Euro League.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good for him. So still making quite a bit of money playing basketball, and he's definitely one of the most improved Purdue players over his 4 years that I have seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, he was.
He only
really
averaged 5 points per game his freshman year.
Yeah, he was pretty unstoppable.
He was really good his senior year. Just still kind of disappointed him and Etuan. And Etuan's still having a good NBA career. They just kind of. They ran into a buzzsaw on that VCU team, but I thought they kind of gave up when the going got tough that game. They really just kind of gave in, and VCU really just crushed them.
Yeah. Going back to LeBron James, his coach now was taking, I think, 31 picks after him in the same draft. Yeah.
What's Ty Lue going to do?
For one, I think Tyronn Lue's the worst coach in the NBA, but
I do too.
I said that about Eric Spoelstra too, and he's obviously done a good job.
Yeah, that's true. Spoelstra's,
But I just, looking at that alien-looking son of a gun, like, seriously, his bug eyes, he's like the ugliest person I've ever seen.
Nebraska grad.
Yeah, he just doesn't seem like he'd be a very good coach, and their roster is going to be complete trash, so they're not going to win a whole lot.
Bad. Your Birdie Bogey had to do with LeBron signing with the Lakers.
Yes, LeBron, when he plays his first game, it will now be 6 of the top 8 scorers in NBA history that it will have played with the Lakers. Can you name the 5 that have, and the 1 besides Michael Jordan that has not played with the Lakers?
Just played for them at some point in a career.
Yes.
And this is leading scorers in NBA history.
Yep, 6 of the top 8 now.
Thank goodness I just heard that, because I had forgot one that played 1 year for the Lakers, and he just popped in my mind.
Okay, I know who it is now.
Kobe Bean Bryant. Wilt Chamberlain. Lou Alcindor, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Correct.
The Logo, Jerry West.
Nope.
Elgin Baylor.
Nope.
Karl Malone. Who am I forgetting? Not Magic, is it?
Nope.
No. Wow, I got this one wrong.
This player had 28,596. Shaquille.
I didn't think he scored that much.
Yeah. Now, besides Jordan, who's the 1 in the top 8 that is not? If you get this right, I'll give you a par.
I'm trying to think where this guy is. I don't know if he's in the top 8 yet. Dirk
is correct. I'll give you a par.
Okay, I'll take a par. Darn it, I had those written down, and I'm like, not Shaq. But I'm glad I listened to your things. I didn't even have Karl Malone written down.
Yeah.
And then, because you remember, they got him and Gary Payton for a year. Lost to the Pistons.
Lost to the Stones.
Does this... no, that's a bad comparison. I was going to say, does this acquisition of Rondo and all these other guys kind of remind you of when they got Steve Nash and Dwight Howard? But, of course, you throw LeBron in the mix. It's a lot bigger deal.
Yeah, exactly.
So, no. Anything you want to plug, J-Man?
No.
Twitter handle?
@MuttDog16 for all my negative cup tweets.
If you want the best coverage around in Fulton County, both positive and negatively,
yes,
you gotta follow @MuttDog16. He will not let you down.
Yep.
Mine's @the_T_Lee. You'll just get a bunch of Purdue and Broncos retweets really right now. I don't tweet a whole lot until the season starts, but once in a while. And you can follow us on Twitter, our podcast @TanandJman Show. Follow us on Instagram @TheTanandJman Show. Like our Facebook page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which has all of our interviews and podcasts up. Which, by the way, if you haven't had a chance, check out the interview I did with legendary Indiana high school basketball coach Pete Smith, Rochester native, 1979 grad, 2-time state champ as a coach at Guerin Catholic. Really fun interview with Pete Smith from his days as a Warsaw assistant coach, where he coached Rick Fox. Cleared his last stop at Guerin Catholic, winning 2 state titles. Fun stories. Check that out, especially if you like basketball. But you can subscribe and listen to our podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, pretty much anywhere you can listen to podcasts, excluding a few big ones. And check out our website, thetannandjmanshow.com. And with that said, we are signing off for episode 85 of Rochester's #1 podcast, and we'll be back next Monday for episode 86 of the Tan and J Man Show. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Have a fun and safe 4th.